YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka the producer. Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. Listen, people, I know I'm like 55 minutes late with this one. I actually really forgot about it. I actually really thought that I had it scheduled for 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. But hey, uh, better late than never. So like I say, the title is "I See Your True Colors," and then I got in there parentheses, black. And for the most part, now that for the most part, I truly probably feel honest in saying that the next president will indeed be Joe Biden unless something actually really comes up with the recount. Like I say, I've been keeping it up with it for as much as possible, right? But it's just like what I've always said that there's no such thing as an election. There's a selection, and now the question should be, or questions, okay, is Biden actually really going to win? And where the fuck is Ice Cube? Right? Like he's missing in action, because he already said that, look, whoever wins, right, they're the ones that, this is who Cube is actually really going to work with, right? Me personally, do I actually really think that, do I actually really think anything is actually really going to surface once January 20th actually really happens? No, I don't, to be perfectly honest with you, right? This is some stuff that's actually probably going to be just off to the wayside. And then we'll still be, or y'all will still be, doggone, talking about, well, damn, well, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that, right? But the main topic that I actually really want to talk about, I mean, I've talked about this plenty of times, right? And for the most part, I tend to look at myself. Well, I'm not gonna say that I consider myself as being a teacher or anything like that, but at the same time, right? Anybody that acts like really know the real deal behind a lot of stuff, right? And can actually like really back up what it is that he or she are actually like really saying, right? And for the most part, it's just like what I always say, I've never come on this platform and bash anybody. It's not what I do, right? But sometimes you really gotta actually really stop and ask yourself, okay, enough of this. Like, seriously, right? So, it's a shame where that you got people, grown ass people, that right to this day still don't know they damn colors. Right? And that's why I titled this show the way that I titled it. I call it "I See Your True Colors" because it's amazing how people can sit up here and say, well, hey, I'm this. And then when you actually really look at them, it's the total and complete opposite of what it is that they're actually really talking about. I mean, just like I say, again, I'm like I said, I'm not here to bash nobody. I really ain't. But you know what? But like when you sit up here and you claim something, and then you're not actually like really what the fuck you say, then I I'm sorry. I have to actually really look at you as if you got shit on, right? You know, because and you know, and I talked about it, you know, because I go on like YouTube or whatever, and I look, I you know, I watch like some of the stuff that other people that I'm subscribed to or whatever, and I'm just like, wow, really? So this is what we do now, right? And it was just like I said, you know, I talked about this white cat, you know, earlier, Nuka Zeus, right? He was out there, you know, claiming this, that, and the third. And then I go on one of my fellow YouTuber channels, right? And then he was going to say, okay, well, you're not black. And so then I asked him, well, are you black? And then it's like, yeah, I'm black. And then it was like, okay, you do the DNA test and this, that, and the third, and all that kind of stuff. So again, the disconnect is there, right? You say you one thing, but then here it is, you saying that you're something else, right? And it's like, okay, basic geography, right? Africa is a continent, not a goddamn country. There's plenty countries on the continent of Africa, right? I mean, if you actually really want to stop and think about it for a minute, I mean, yeah, all of this stuff on where is it right now? Yeah, somebody actually really gave it a name. Now, depending on who, how many people did it actually really take to actually like really agree on the name, on whether you gonna name this piece of land, whether it be a continent, island, or state, or province, or whatever the fuck the case may be, right? You know, somebody, a whole group of people had been like, had been in, you know, in accordance or in agreement, say, hey, look, this is the name we're gonna go with. Do you agree or disagree? Right? And then even then, you know, for the most part, you have to look at the whole thing. Okay, well, the majority rules. You may not like it, but guess what? The majority is gonna rule, or it's gonna like overtake what it is that you actually really talking about here. So I'm like this, right? When you put like a when somebody, you know, they holler about them, like, well, oh, I'm black, or oh, I'm white, or I'm yellow, or I'm red, right? But then when you actually really go and look in the mirror, considering what the fuck you just actually really called yourself, right? Then you are actually like really not what the fuck that you actually really identifying yourself with. Because of, for the most part, a lot of us or a lot of y'all, right, will actually like really try to identify yourselves with something that somebody else had put out long time ago. Like seriously. So like say, you know, I've always felt this way, you know, even before I really started doing anything on YouTube, right? I've always had enough about myself to say, hey, look, I am not a black person, right? I know what the definition of what black is, or the etymology of what black is, right? You want to know what black is right now? carry your ass into the closet, right? Cut the light off, close the door. And that's what it is, actually, really. That's, and then again, you can't call it black. It's about darkness. Because black, black is not a color, right? It never was. It's just something that happens once you cut off all the lights, right? And and then for the most part, if you want to walk around here and call yourself a black man or a black woman, and you really not know what the fuck is going on, then hey, guess what? This is the show you might want to listen to or watch. Or if you don't want to hear from me, go look at Dane Calloway. Dane Calloway will tell you the exact same shit that I'm telling you. He may not actually really use the same type of language. He might not use the same type of language that I'm using. But in all actuality, we're actually really talking about this. We're actually really talking about the same thing here, right? Stop calling yourself black, because that's not what the fuck you are, right? And it's just like what I said in a few shows back. Nuka Zeus, right? If you actually really want to help out in the struggle, not just because of what on who you think is black or so-called black, right? How about you just actually really just fight for human rights? Because we're all human beings here. We just happen to be different color. Or if you actually really want to get technical about the shit, we're actually like, all of us are actually like really the same goddamn color. Right? It's no different. It's like if I take a bucket of brown paint and I dilute it with so-called white paint, it's still gonna be motherfucking brown. It's just gonna be a lighter shade of brown, right? And you right here taking all these damn pills and shit, and I don't know what the fuck for. But it's just like what I said. People actually really need to stop and actually like really take for face value that, okay, you are not black. You never were. You are not African. You never were. You might have come out, you might have come from a country out from Africa, but just know that your ass is not African. Let's just put, let's just put this shit out there. Right? Just like I said, anytime when somebody put a tag on you, right? And then you, for the most part, you tend to accept it for whatever reason. Not really knowing the definition. Yeah, I appreciate that. You accept the tag. You accept the tag, not really knowing what the fuck that tag is. But you just go along with it because for you think it sounds good. Because I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times. I go on Facebook right now and somebody can be on there and be like, okay, well, how come, you can be like, okay, well, we got the Mexicans, we got the Italians, we got the Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, European, Hawaiian, Samoan, or whatever. How come we the only black folks? That's what you have to ask yourself. And so, just like for those of us that can actually really go back and look at our family records or our family tree, to actually really see, okay, well, hey, look, where the fuck we come from? Because I'm going to tell you right now, motherfuck a goddamn DNA test. Because ain't no way in hell, let's think about this shit for people. They going to act like really tell you, they going to send this shit out to your house. and they gonna have you take that cotton swab and go around it in your mouth, and then you go send it back. So do you really, truly, honestly believe that they can actually really pick up some shit just from a cotton swab? And then it's just for the simple fact that you already know that a lot of this shit is already strategically placed for them to actually really say, oh, well, you're this, so we gonna say that you came from here. Knowing damn well that probably ain't the case. Because it's like what I've always said. Hell, even the so-called people, even the Africans, the so-called Africans ain't from Africa. Just like I say, too busy listening to the goddamn Dr. Leakey and the rest of the motherfuckers. Right? And I know I said this plenty of times. Me originally, I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I live here in Texas. So when I die, whatever that may be, chances are they probably gonna bury my ass right here in Texas at the National Cemetery, where they put all of the soldiers who served this country. 9 times out of 10, that's where they're gonna put me. Unless I actually really make a request for my body to actually really go back to Little Rock, Arkansas. Right? But 9 times out of 10, the body probably gonna be right here in Texas. So let's just say, for shits and giggles, like let's just say that I'm the first man to ever walk the face of the earth. And then here come some people from another planet. They happen to stumble up on my body. And just because they find my body here in Texas, and guess what the fuck they finna say? Oh, well, the first human being was born right here in Texas, not really knowing that my point of origin is right there in Little Rock, Arkansas. So these motherfuckers, this is what you have to actually take into consideration, right? People do move during the course of their lifetime. So like I say, all of this shit that people holler about, oh, well, I'm black, really? Or I'm African, really? What tribe you from? Right? Matter of fact, what country you from over there in Africa? Because like I say, Africa is a continent, not a country. Leave them goddamn DNA tests alone. Right? And actually really figure out where the fuck you come from. Plain and simple. So, you can only be the dead dog for so long, right? And I think I done said pretty much all what I can actually say on that particular subject. But going back to whoever the fuck is actually really going to win the election or selection, right? Is it going to be Trump or is it actually really going to be Biden, right? And then you got to ask yourself, okay, once there's a clear victor, is Cube actually really going to say what he's going to say, what he was going to do? He's going to actually really work with the people that's in office, right? But for me, to be perfectly honest with you, Biden and Harris is, for the most part, is not the people that you actually really need to be working with. You need to be working with the motherfuckers in Congress, because for the most part, when it's all said and done, they're the ones that actually really gonna have the last say so, not the president or the vice president. The president ain't nothing more than a goddamn front man. When shit looks good, depending on who the fuck you got in office, then Congress, they'll say, okay, you know what? Go on, let them have it, right? But the first time that shit is fucked up, guess who Congress finna blame? They finna blame the goddamn president. But then again, y'all actually really think that your vote count for something, knowing damn well they don't. You never did, right? Because when it was, it's like those of y'all that actually really know how this shit work. You know right now what I'm talking about is straight facts. They just sit up here and yeah, you can go vote. And then once all the votes come in, then whoever's actually really in charge of that shit, then they can actually really say yay or nay after they done looked at what the people have voted for. And then even then, who's to say that they're gonna actually really go off of what the majority says? That's how you have to look at it, right? And you know, I just look at it like this, people. Whether if Trump stays in office, chances are it's probably still gonna be fucked up. And if Biden actually really wins, what makes y'all think that anything is gonna change? Like seriously, because historically, the Democrats, and I'm actually really just talking from because I'm a retired Army veteran, right? 21 years. Historically, the Democrats ain't never been for the goddamn soldier. They will shut shit down quick, fast, in the motherfucking hurry. Where the Republicans, on the other hand, although they may send your motherfucking ass there goddamn where, but they've always been for the doggone soldier, regardless of branch. So all what I'm saying is this, right? And I've always said this. Come election day, or whatever, and you carried your ass in the motherfucking voting booth. Yeah, you know, I can actually say, choke your motherfucking self. Because you just wasted you just wasted 5 minutes of however long that you had to actually stand in line and actually really go to the booth and look at who the fuck you was gonna vote for. And then get out of there. That's some time that you ain't gonna get back because you actually really think that your vote counts. But hey, look, everybody is entitled on what they actually really want to believe in. So they're like, if you actually really think it, hey, by all means, do you, right? But come January 20th, right? Or anything after that, don't be bitching, because all I was saying, you know what? That's what the fuck y'all wanted. Because Biden already hollered about now shutting this shit down once he get in. He want everybody to wear a motherfucking mask. And just like I always said, why the fuck you gonna wear a mask if you sick? If anything, you want that shit to get out your body. Putting the mask on ain't gonna do nothing but muffle it. And you steady breathing in that bacteria that's got your ass sick in the motherfucking place. But you gonna put a mask on. Got it. Got it. Fuck games as usual. But in other case, people, I actually been going over another 20 or 30 minutes about the same shit. And 9 times out of 10, not gonna change nobody's opinion on what the fuck they want to do. But for those that actually really gonna watch this show, and for the one viewer that's actually really watching the show now, Hey, I try to do, hey, I do what I do, you know? So, so like I say, in either case, people, whoever's actually really gonna watch this show, just actually really stop and think about, just stop and think about it for a minute, right? Why put the motherfucking mask on? I mean, this is like worse than the goddamn movie The Bird Box, right? Motherfucker walking around blindfold, right? Don't know what the fuck is going on. Now, so you went from the Bird Box. Now you walking around with a mask on. So now you can't hear, you can't see shit, and you can't breathe. But they still want you to motherfucker go vote for them, though. See how that shit work? It's the game that they play. But just like I said, even before the movie The Bird Box came about, a lot of y'all was actually really walking around here with the shit over your face in the first place. Because put like this, if you wasn't blindfolded, then 9 times you would have never voted. And it's just for the simple fact, you gotta ask yourself another question. The 1965, or it was either 1965 or 1964, when the Civil Rights Voting Act was put into play. Now, if your vote actually really counts for something, how come they, first and foremost, why they had to put this shit in law? Why did it have to be made a law? And then how come they have to renew this shit every so often? If your vote really counted, why they got to have this shit into play? Why does it have to actually really be on paper? But your vote counts though. But they had to think about it. They had to make a law so you can go carry your ass to go vote. Like, seriously. That's what you have to think about. If my vote really counted, my vote counts. I don't need no piece of paper saying, oh, just because you look at me, oh, you good. No, I should be good without no motherfucking paper, without no law saying something. So again, like I said, if these motherfuckers actually really want me to vote, right? Get rid of that shit. And it's just for the simple fact, anybody that has put in 20 years of work, right? 20 plus years of work, then goddamn it, give me all of my motherfucking money, right? Don't be taking shit out. Oh, well, we need to take this from you for this, that, and the third. No, I work for that. Give me all of my goddamn money. Plain and simple. So again, people, it's all about how you look at this. I mean, because everybody can look at it, right? But are you really looking at it? Like how you really supposed to look at it? 9 times out of 10, y'all ain't. So, with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, across the street, right the corner. Pauls Harris, aka the Medusa. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Till next time, people.